Jewelry can say many things on your wedding day. As a wedding band, it can say, "This is a forever symbol of our forever love." As a gift to your wedding party, it can say, "Thanks for standing up there with us." Blue Nile can help you find the piece that says it all and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Another Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Eric. How we doing?
I am loving it. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. Hyped to get this going. So what'd you get at McDonald's?
2 cheeseburger meal, only ketchup and pickles and cheese. And then I got a bonus, the 3 chocolate chip cookies today. I never get that shit, but it was amazing. I only had 1 so far. How are you doing today, man?
Keeping both for after the show, man, as a reward, the treat.
Yeah, it is a treat. We got Iannick B today. I'm fucking stoked.
Yo.
We on a roll, man. This is like 5 weeks in a row we've done this straight.
It's crazy. Thank y'all people for showing up on the chat and on the live. So people may not know you're one of the greatest ski movie makers to ever do it. I grew up on your shit.
Thanks, man.
My pleasure, especially Royalty. When I saw the movie, I was drawn to try to be like the dudes on the screen. And it seemed far-fetched until your 2002 release, your third flick, Stereotype. One of the featured skiers was from my local hill.
But don't you think, just to interrupt you, wouldn't you think you could, there was 3 guys named Phil in my first movie. Like, wouldn't you be like, Phil. I'm a Phil? Like, you could have been the 5th Phil at the time.
Yeah, images. Yeah, I could have. But it still isn't as real as seeing a local person in the flesh at your ski resort sliding a rail in front of your eyes and in the movie. That's when shit gets real. And if he can do it, then I can do it.
So Iannick B's from VDP?
Iannick B's from VDP, man.
Wicked.
Yeah, I got some good anecdotes of him skiing there. He's one of the greatest rail skiers to have ever done it. He changed the game when he was in it. But most of all, and you would attest to this, what makes him the greatest is his persona. He's humble, genuine, just easygoing, fun person to be around. And we couldn't be more pleased to give flowers today to the man,
Sonic the motherfucking Hedgehog. B.
Chip.
I'm fucking stoked. I haven't talked to Iannick since his wedding. I think that was his wedding I went to while we were making our movie. Iannick. He doesn't have curly hairs, but he got a beard. He looks so much younger than 55. Oh,
no more hair.
There you go.
That's the 45 for you.
You're not 45.
I'm 45.
Okay, I was positive you were 55. So you answered that quick. But this isn't a question kind of show.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah.
Thanks for the intro, Phil. And
my pleasure.
Is that?
It's so good to have you on, man. Are you in the RV now?
Yeah. We've been living in an RV for 2 years now. Just going around in the U.S.
Living the American dream?
Yeah. I'm becoming American day by day.
For like a decade, huh?
Almost. Yeah, we've been in the U.S. for 8 years now. 7 years.
Fucking nuts. Well, I gotta start it like this. Other than Phil's intro, because he's the best intro person ever. Like, the big reason why we wanted to do this show, Giving Flowers, is because we wanted to kind of use Phil's platform to make sure that we kind of I don't know, gave high five and told people how awesome they were. That played a big sport in a sport that I was a big part of for a long time and that Phil's still a part of. And so it's kind of just, we want to do this show and have you part of it because we thought you made a big difference in the sport. Phil personally and myself for the whole overall thing. So kind of want to just have you on today to like thank you for what you did. Even though I just realized you were the shortest ski career that I ever worked with. And we just had Dash on and he was the longest career and still going. So that makes it even more wicked, right? Because you had that big influence on such a small time period. So this is a show, man, just to thank you for what you did in skiing in the short time. And then we're going to go through all the fun stuff. So thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for both of you. I think both of you were inspirational at some point in my career, for sure.
I still want to know how you saw when you had I just was looking through all shit. It was so fun. Like you can Google. You're a hard person to research. Like I only could go off what I knew. And then I'm like, man, there's nothing on the internet of Iannick B. But then once you research Iannick B new schoolers, sky's the limit, man. You like a new schooler's god in 2002 and 3. Will Wesson said that you were better than Candide.
Yeah,
check it out.
I doubt that.
Hey man, he was. That's a rail god nowadays. That as a youth saw you as the god. Like when I saw that Will Wesson, he just liked a message. So hopefully he's watching this right now. We found your message, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Candide is killing it still these days. Even my dad, who's back into skiing, he's like him and his buddies are all into Candide, and I was like, that's crazy that he's still going so strong. He's a good skier.
Yeah, not normal. He's like 25 years deep, quarter fucking century, and he's like your age, or he's 10 years younger than you.
Yeah, he's a bit younger.
That's crazy.
Some bionic engineering going on with his body over in France. He's definitely going into some sort of tank to get youth serum injected, I presume. But Iannick, one thing that's like congruent with all the people we get on, and this a topic that we always going to stay on, this like our guiding line to invite people is style. The people that we get on definitely had like particular style and were very involved in the movement of style. And I was wondering, what was in your words, how would you define style?
For me, style, and I don't think if I need a person for style, it would probably be you, Phil. Like that's probably my definition. It's like for me, style is more creativity. I've never been, as I think both of you know at least, I've never been like the top at jumps and spins and flips and everything. I was mostly rail. And I'm not still into, even when I still watch a lot of skiings and competitions. And when I see all these crazy like 1440s and everything, I'm like, sometimes I feel like it's the same guy that went 10 times in a row with all the same trick. So it's nice to see, it's nice to see something different, for sure. And I think style for me is like, something creative, something different. I would say something smooth also, like if it's really slow moving, even though it's a fast rotation, it's kind of nice to see.
Beautiful. I would have to second that. Creativity is huge part of style. That's what differentiates one another. It's how you approach things. And one thing that Iberg and I were bugging on, just like how you approach things, is like this back two right here. People not watching, Iannick's just doing a back two off of a flat rail and just overshooting the whole landing. And we were wondering, like, if that was rooted from your roller inline skating background, like, what made you not go for transition and just, like, obliterate landings like that?
Because that's something that I noticed when I filmed with you and then we went back over it, is that you were, say in 2002, there's always a landing tranny. And then, like, if you watch all the stereotype or whatever, you're the only guy that would go past it. Like, you have a 450 where you land like 20 feet past, I think, from SoCal somewhere. And, like, you're just like, what the fuck? And so, like, I don't know. It was that's just my add-on. I think it's not that one. You took the 450 further.
No,
the
no,
next one,
I know. Chill out.
Yeah. That line was so fun at Mammoth. I enjoy that. Or is that
that one? Big Bear.
Yeah. Big Bear. That was Mammoth. Yeah, I think like background in rollerblading definitely. First, like my first love was actually I started skiing when I was 5, and then when snowboarding came around, I liked it because you could jump, you could do different things. So I switched to snowboarding when I was maybe 13, 12, and then did that for a little bit. And at the same time in the summer, because I wanted to keep doing tricks, then I got picked up rollerblading. That also became popular. So that's basically, I would say snowboard and rollerblade is my background, especially for tricks. Never been doing that much like park on snowboards or that much rails. It was mostly at the time it was like hand shaped half pipes. So it was just basically like 3 hits in a hole of snow. But rollerblades for rails definitely the whole time, and that's kind of how I got back into skiing. Knowing like Felix Rioux, who's also really involved in skiing and snowblading, like literally called me one day because I knew him from rollerblading, and he knew I skied and snowboarded before, and he called me and he's like, "Hey, do you want to start this new sport called skiboarding?" It was like there's a company called. Can I? Because this was a big part of the conversation. I just want to. So you were a professional rollerblader in the late '90s, right? You were. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's important to this whole story. So yeah, sort of. Yeah, it was not like rollerblade, especially at that point, was not making much money. But I went to like China to do shows and did shows at SeaWorld. I was competing on some of the like national competitions, but point being, I don't think I've ever in the sport. You were like involved past local, and so what was always super interesting to me. I never knew how you got involved in skiboarding, and then we'll evolve like because I always viewed you as someone who was a rollerblader that ended up on skis, kind of like Nikki. I may be wrong, but then all of a sudden you did it because that was the opportunity, and we'll get there. I'll tell you the whole story when we get to it. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like your influence and then coming from there, like how did you, I guess, to interrupt your story and let you go back, like how did you even get into skiing is the craziest question for me that I don't know. Because I just assumed Solomon made you become a skier. Yeah, no, I literally like, it was Felix who called me. I don't know how he knew some of these people, probably from the rollerblade crowd in California, I would say. But it was a company called Imperial who started doing snowblades early on. They called Felix. They said that we're looking for people who have like a snowboard or ski background and rollerblade because we want to start a team and this new sport. And I think it was like, he was like, and if you want, like they'll send you to California in like 2 weeks to do a competition. I had never been on snowblades before, ever. So would you say this is like 96, 97? Oh man, I'm so bad with years that I don't know. I'm just trying to think because in Minnesota, that's when like Schmidt and all of them got random ski blades from companies. Like right then after. It's probably around probably around that time too. It was early enough that it was probably the first or second year that Solomon was making those snowblades, I would say. Okay. Yeah, so I basically, I was like, sure, let's try it. And we went a couple of days early. We went to Mountain High in California a couple of days early to try it out. And it was actually not that bad. It was similar to skiing, similar to rollerblading. So I could hit the jump, do some tricks. And that was it from there. Then I competed. I don't think I did that good. Maybe like top 10 or top 5, but I mean it was not bad for being the first weekend ever on those snowblades. So from there, then I started doing more competitions and doing it at the local ski hill for a year and everything. And then from there, that's where I met Iannick from Solomon at one of the competition, because it was only like a couple brands and all the brands were there. And he noticed me, and then he came to me and asked, he's like, yeah, we want to put you on the Solomon team for snowblade. And I was like, at that time, I was working at a snowboard shop too. And I don't know if it was it was when Solomon released the twin tip skis. And I don't think the snowboards were out yet, but it was definitely when twin tips were coming out.
Okay.
So I was kind of interested in that too. So I definitely jumped on the opportunity with Solomon. And I think like even a year after I was Solomon, I asked them if I could get skis, because that's what I used to do. And then I got back on skis maybe a year, and I kept doing both skis and snowblade for like 1 or 2 years, and then went back fully into skis because I could see more potential in there.
So were you signed with Solomon as a snowblade or ski blader?
Yeah.
And then you were signed to Fish. Were you with Line? Who did you go at 2002? Solomon. You were still with Solomon.
Yeah.
For sure, with Stereotype. Who'd you go with after Solomon when the ski blade twin tip life was over there?
For snowblade or for skiing?
For skiing. Like when you were only like a skier, what was your first?
Yeah, it was Solomon the whole time until the end when I was part of the cuts when they cut. I think they cut Philu and me and a whole bunch of people. They got rid of basically half the team. I was part of that layoff, if we can call it that. And then
fair.
from there, I was good. Yeah, and then from there, I went to. I was skiing forefronts for quite a bit. So.
All right, I got the history.
That was it. I like the skis. What was that?
I was saying because that was my biggest thing. I'm like, man, I never knew where Iannick really came from, because I had a Felix history. And to those that are listening, Felix also helped co-found Destructure, and also co-founded the film festival in Montreal, IF3. So big up Felix if you're out there and all the shit you did for the sport. So yeah, but now I'm thinking about it. You're ski blade in '97. Phil's 7 years old. When was the first time you saw Iannick on your hill, Phil? Because I just learned you're a VDP guy. I always thought you were a Stoneyham guy.
Yeah. No, I've skied the same place as Phil.
Yeah. Big memory I have is one day I spotted you and you were doing a back 270 off the rail, the only rail that was at the resort. It was under the chairlift and the Prince Edouard. And I was like, oh, he's here, man. This is like the day to make my career, make or break. So I would wait for you to be on the chair until I spotted you. I'd wait at the rail. And I dropped in, make or break, Dream Maker, and just nutted myself straight off the bat. This was the first time I was trying to rail. I was
just trying to impress Iannick.
Did you see me? You probably didn't even looking.
I don't remember that.
No,
it was probably pretty fun. Was I on skis or snowblades then?
On skis.
On skis, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I remember Phil even before like Phil's family, because I've always been like one of the VDP family. Kind of everybody was a good, like parents are good skier. The whole family is they're awesome skiers and racers. So I knew them because of that. I didn't personally know them before. I think Phil, you were probably the first person I met of the family. I think just probably probably on the hill skiing. Yeah,
big things for sure. And as a youth, also like you were highly involved in everything that came to VDP. The D-Jam, Phil Bellon organized the D-Jam at VDP. You were one of the coaches. Amongst with JP, Bellin, and maybe one of the other Phils. You gave me wise advice on our way up the T-bar. You told me your 22-year-old self told my maybe 12-year-old self or something, focus on plan A, but make sure you got a plan B. And my stubborn self never really listen to that, although I would recommend it to anybody. That's wise advice. But to circle to your career in that regard, you were studying computer science as you were doing professional skiing. And I was wondering how you juggled both of these tasks.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, it was definitely not easy. Especially like when we would travel, people would usually go out at night and do like enjoy life outside of just a ski day. But there's many nights and weekends that I would just stay at the hotel or do things to study or get ready for school. But yeah, it took years to finish my degree, but ended up finishing it in the end. By the way, I still go with plan A and plan B even to this day. I always have a plan B. Maybe C sometime.
It's good theory, Iannick. It's good theory.
Yeah. Damn, that's that holds up.
I guess that brings me to an idea, like when you got into it all, did you have any influences or someone that you were inspired by? Like at this point, because you're ski blading, you're good at what you do, you were noticed that you're good at what you do, and now all of a sudden you have to like become a skier. Is it just something that looked fun that you want to do, or were there some people that you're like, oh fuck yeah, I'm better than him, or I could do that, or like what inspired you or influenced you to go into skiing?
I don't think I genuinely skied for fun. Like I seriously never try to be, never, like I don't think it's ever been a thought of like this person, I'm better than this person, so I should be sponsored, I should be there, right? I've always skied because I liked it and for fun, and it was, for me, it was also a lot of like the circle of friends that you hung out with. Like it was just a fun atmosphere. But to answer your question, like I still remember, like I was still I was skiing and snowblading, and we were at, shoot, what are they called? They were like the X Games of Japan.
The core games?
Core Games. I was at the Core Games I was doing it on snowblades at the time. And I remember JP and Pilu were both there. And when I watched them skis, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. Like both JP and Pilu were seriously like, when I started, that's where I wanted to be. Like I watched it and I was like, I that's all I want to do. And I think from that point, I mostly skied after that, and that's where I probably asked Solomon, like, can I just ski and like you don't have to put me on the team, but I would prefer to ski over rollerblading over snowblading. And yeah, I think that's where I started skiing way more. I can't remember what date that was, but I'm pretty sure that was
2000.
One of the
Was that Charles Gagnon knockout event where he got like unconscious for 3 minutes on ski blades?
No, not Charles. That was I can't remember his name, but I know what you mean. But yes,
but yeah, so
yeah, it was not Charles. It was a Gagne. Yeah, but it was yeah, but yes, exactly that event. Yeah,
2000.
Yeah, I think he was doing was he doing like a switch backflip, I think, or something, or he was trying to double front or double back. I don't know, something crazy.
All I know is, like, if I was you guys, the reason why I would have thought skiing was more awesome, you're like, man, I could go 10 feet higher out of that quarter pipe, or like you guys had to be so perfect. Like you had to land on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with skis. Yeah, with skis you could go bigger, and the landings are so much easier on. Like, I mean, that's probably the reason why you can go bigger, right? On skis, it's so much more stable than the snowblades.
Yeah. Wicked.
And speaking of which, you mentioned the name of our mutual friend, the three of us, and legend, and rest in peace to JP. I was wondering if you could share an anecdote or a story, if you had any on top of your brain that you could pull up and share.
It was actually JP's birthday on Monday. Did you guys celebrate?
Yeah.
Or is it Monday or Sunday?
Happy birthday, JP.
Yeah, I usually try to buy a cake every day, every year on that day. Just eat it with the family.
Did you do it this year?
No, I forgot, but I went and had a beer because I didn't go to the store early. I sat at the pool with the beer and cheered.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, and yeah, but I mean, I live with GP for I don't know, 4 years maybe when we were in Quebec City at the condo. That's actually where at least my first son was born. And second son had to go there because we all had the flu. So they ended up living at JP's house for a couple of weeks. So we used to do tons of things. When I was having my beer actually on his birthday, I was thinking of the days we used to just go to the store, grab one of those big cans of beer and go to the skate park and ride the mini ramp like all night, drinking that, just sipping on one beer for hours. It was flat and warm, but it was like the fun nights we used to have, just chill, go skateboard. At that time, JP was never, I don't even know if he did own rollerblades, but I don't think he ever used it. But yeah, we used to go skateboard. There was a mini ramp in Quebec City that we used to do. Go ride that. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. There's tons of different things, but
Jewelry can say many things on your wedding day. As a wedding band, it can say, "This is a forever symbol of our forever love." As a gift to your wedding party, it can say, "Thanks for standing up there with us." Blue Nile can help you find the piece that says it all and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
You had a gnarly injury at some point in your career. At U.S. Open, you broke both your wrist and arm, and the surgeon said that you were gonna have to be 3 months off, and you managed to shorten that to 5 weeks. Word is the credit goes to your heavy intake of milk. Do you still drink milk to this day, and do you recommend it to the people?
I actually don't drink that much milk anymore. No, I actually like oat milk now, which doesn't count for vitamin D and calcium. But yeah, no, I don't know if it was because of the milk. I've broken many bones, gotten injured, and I've always been stubborn enough to remove the cast myself and go back skiing and try to figure out ways to keep active. I was actually listening to a David Grogan podcast and how he sees life and does things. I was like, that's kind of how I used to do it, right? It was like the doctor would say you got to sit down for 3 months. Well, 3 weeks should do.
But it's got to be crazy, right? Because you were having someone else wipe your ass for that time. Like, I would be so motivated to heal if I had 2 broken arms.
Is what?
Oh, I was just thinking, you couldn't wipe your own butt. So if I couldn't do that, I'd be pretty motivated to heal pretty fast if someone else had to intrude on that area multiple times a day.
So, yeah, the two broken arms at the same time was kind of a hassle for a little bit. It was definitely not pleasant. Thankfully, I had like one of the casts was all the way to my bicep, so I couldn't do much with that arm. But the other one was a shorter cast, so it was a bit easier to do things.
Nice. One of my random questions was when you first got into it, because I remember Mike Nick got some of the hate, like as far as being a rollerblader because he was on short skis. Did you ever get it? Because I never heard it. Because you were such a nice guy. Mike Nick was always like, he's kind of like me, likes to talk a lot, has some visions, a little louder than the normal person. But did you ever get any backlash for any tricks you did or a style you had at the time? Or did anyone say anything, comments to you, or did you hear anything?
No, I feel like it's always been kind of there. Like, just general attitude of, like, I don't know, like hardcore skiers that were just, that's going nowhere. But I kind of went through that with so many sports. Even even when I started snowboarding, right, the skiers used to hate us. Like even at VDP, we had one trail we could use. We couldn't do anything. Like it was kind of like the skiers were trashing the snowboarders, and then after that, later in life, the snowboarders were trashing the skiers, and the skiers were trashing the snowboarders. So it's, everybody's always against the other sports. I feel it's. I think it's gotten a bit better, especially with skiing and snowboarding, because maybe they're the two that came out winner of that whole thing. But
That's true. If you started as
think
a snowboarder, you got hated on, then a rollerblader got hated on by a skateboarder, then you're a
Yeah.
ski blader. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I don't think I had any sports where everyone just hated on me for
Yeah.
no reason.
And even I feel like even when I was a skier, when we started hitting the snow parks, the snowboarders used to like trash on us because they didn't want us to use the half pipe or the jumps, right?
Yeah, you put your pole in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
fucking...
I feel like it's always been there. I've always really ignored it. But yeah, I'm sure tons of people were just trashing me for being a rollerblader or a snowboarder or a snowblader.
I'll tell you what, I was around a lot of people in life, and I never heard one person say one bad thing about Iannick B. And that's about also how awesome you are. Like,
Yeah.
you can't talk shit on Sonic the Hedgehog, man. He'll just
And there's
laugh
gotta
and
be-
smile and hug you.
There's got to be. I'm sure in the people there's got to be someone who's got something. Definitely not perfect.
No one is perfect, Iannick. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
you did it all. Like as a youth, it seemed like skiing, rollerblading, wakeboarding, wake skate, skateboarding, snowboarding. How would you say that this vast array of sport? Do you think that culminated or synthesized into one and really like created your skiing style? Do you owe some of your skiing genre or style to like all these sports that you did?
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think that's like the more, and I'm still like that with my kids. Like I like them to do every sports just because everything you do, I think, helps the other sport, right? Whatever you do, any sport will. Even if you're like playing baseball, I'm sure it helps you out with your skiing somehow, just the running or something, right? Like, and like I said before, to me it was. I've never seen it as like I never really wanted to. Although when I was younger, I remember I really wanted to be a snowboarder and move to Whistler. That's like one dream I remember I had. But other than that, I don't think I wanted to be a pro skier really hard. Like all I wanted is to have fun doing something I liked, and that's probably why I ended up doing so many sports. Because I still, even to this day, I still love doing most sports. Right? I like being active, and I play hockey. Sadly, I haven't skied that much in the last couple of years, but I've been mountain biking. I picked up mountain biking, which has been great. A little bit easier to do without finding snow.
That's true. No ski boots. Random question from someone a while ago. Hopefully they're still on, but I liked it. They asked, what Gagne brother has the best style in your opinion?
That's a hard question.
Super hard.
Oh, put on the spot there.
I know, I like it though. And you're a Quebecer, and you're outside enough where you can have an opinion.
Yeah. I like Charles. And maybe also because he's probably the one I've been the closest to. Like I've skied with Charles, and I was there when he won the first X game, and he brought a lot. But Antoine is also like Antoine's cool. Like I like that he's literally trying different things without caring about the shit he gets for it. I think that's respectable for sure.
And he was so far ahead of his time and everything, so he just looked like some future weird person whenever he skied.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even like doing like the 1 foot 50/50s that Phil does now, people do now. Like I remember doing that, and people thinking that we were so whack for doing these tricks, and it was like, maybe it was too early.
It was too early. You know, like, because there was so many. It's just like a double flip. It was too early until 2006.
Yeah.
You know, you could, if you tried to do it, we'd be like, "What up, aerials?" And it just didn't have a time or place, or right. Even like one big thing I remember, like when Charles did the 1 footer at X Games when he won, everyone made fun of it, but then everyone's doing it 6 years later.
Yeah.
So just sometimes you're ahead of it.
Yeah.
Got to set the trend.
Yeah, it feels like sometimes it might also be the circle, right? Like you might be pushing it, and people are not there yet. People are trying to like slow you down or jealous of what you're doing, but the younger crowd is seeing it as the future. So once they get there, they're going to be like, "Yeah, this is what it should be," right?
Yeah. No, the kids know because they get to pick and choose what's fun. And then if you're copying everyone, how is anyone going to pick your style if you do the same shit as everyone else?
Yeah.
So, that was a good one. Gagne.
You did something for the children with the cyber session. Here we got Brady Perron, the one and only, great friend of mine. And he asked a question about the cyber session. What stuck out for you during that tour, and where was your head at in your career at that point?
Where was the what?
Where was your head at? Like, where were you at in your career at that point during the cyber session?
Man, that was fairly early on. I think Mike Nick picked me up on cyber fairly. I think even when I on snowblades and then on skis. I don't know. That's a hard question, and it's so far back in my memory. It'd be hard to answer. But
anything that stuck out from the cyber session?
Actually all these events, the cyber session, and at one point in Quebec, I was doing like the McDonald Jam with Solomon. Even we did, what was it called? We did some of those events in Europe also, and I personally always liked these events and more. I've never been that much of a competitive I am competitive, but not competitions. And I often envy you, Phil, and like all the newer kids who don't have like, you can concentrate on movies and you can concentrate on things other than competing at X Games and other competitions. If I could have had that avenue, I would have definitely taken that. Just more of the filming, less competing. I think that's why those sessions were awesome for that. You would show up sometimes at random hills, ski with kids, ski with other people. I think that and the summer camps for me was probably the most fun in my career, I would say.
I was there at the Sunday River Cyber Session stop, and one thing that stuck out to me was you popping over a barrel from flat, like you were ollieing over the thing, maybe 180 in, but that always stuck out to me because I was running into the thing wondering how you could pop that high with your skis.
Yeah. I wonder if that was the same one where Simon was there. Was Simon there?
That's his local resort, so it would make sense. Yeah. There was also a down flat down rail, a red one.
Yeah, Simon was there too. Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun session. I remember that.
Brady was at Cranmore and Egg Cyber Session, changed his life. That's what's up. For real.
Cyber sessions.
Yeah, these were fun. I seriously wish Mike or someone would have bought Cyber again. That was one of the greatest company, I think.
Yeah.
Cyber for real.
Yeah.
Is Will Wesson on here still? If you are, Will, give a call in, man. You wrote that thread. I heard you were on when we started this 40 minutes ago, but if you see him on there, Phil.
Relative to Will, I'm going to get this guy on because he's got always some anecdotes, perhaps. Maybe he's going to join, perhaps not, but I'm thinking of Shane McFalls, the great. What up, Shane?
Look what I resurfaced in my garage.
Oh my gosh! You even have a frame on that bitch?
I took it off the stage at IF3.
That is so awesome, man.
Hey, my question would be like, so thinking about stereotype, right? When you film like a segment, specifically that one, or even just, for that whole movie, I guess, Iberg, this question's for you too. Like, are you like thinking about where you're at throughout the winter in terms of like, okay, I got like this much footage, I need to go to Mammoth and like round it out, or is it all just like whatever happens? Do you see rough cuts of like?
You tell your version, Iannick, and then I'll tell mine because that movie was funny as fuck.
No, definitely not. Especially at that point, it was like literally I was filming with Eric, I think Felix has some footage in Stereotype.
Felix edited the whole segment, so that will
Yeah,
come
it
into play
did.
in
But
the
some of
story.
the footage is from you, right? I'm pretty sure that you filmed some of these follows. No,
a couple, not a big bear or anything like that. I think I have
Okay.
one or two shots, so like it's super fun.
All right.
So like with the
But
story
yeah.
is Iannick was a Solomon guy. He's the only Solomon guy in the whole movie, right? So there's 2 Poor Boys movies. So this is my first Poor Boys movie coming over from media. So Johnny's like, you got to make a movie every year. And I'm like, I don't want to make a movie. I just like did the world premiere of this one. Like, and he's like, okay, like if you like, there's a bunch of skiers now. He's like, if you make a movie, like we'll figure out how to get it sponsored. So I pitched him a movie. He didn't like that idea. And so then like we came up with the idea that I knew he would like, with all the people that weren't the coolest of the industry. And so that way, whether it's the line company, whether it's like the certain individuals, like Phil Dion out of the Phils, a Iannick out of whatever. And so the whole Iannick, you were technically that movie's biggest sponsor, because I didn't get sponsor money. I just told Johnny I needed my rent paid. And then we didn't develop any of the film till August. And I developed the film and edited the movie in a week. And so like we never even saw any of the footage until we imported it on high speed log and capture. So it was
nice.
It was wicked, man. You're my biggest sponsor. Thanks.
So like you're not
Thanks, Eric.
you're not like getting a rough cut of like, oh hey, you have a segment, do you want to look at it, or do you see it like once it's fully finished?
Well, that one I was kind of part, because like Eric said, Felix put together a bunch of that segment. So, and I think at the time I must have been sitting with Felix or close by that he was showing me things as it was getting together, as he was putting it together. So I did see most of it as it was being put together, but for footage wise, like there's no way I was going through the season and being like, all right, I need like some powder shots, I need some rails. I was literally just having fun skiing everywhere and hoping that someone would get it on camera.
And pretty much I sent the footage to Felix, and Felix did his and Thomas Rinfrat and Mike Nick's original segment. We had to change it because of the song. But yeah, so those guys got it because I was like, if they can't fly out and see and hang out in Park City when I edit. So we did the intros all similar, and then he got to hang out with Felix.
So if you don't develop the film until August, you're just like, I mean, it's film, right?
It's
like,
film. It was in the back of my minivan. And people say keep it in cold things. It was like in my back of my car at summer camp in 100-degree weather every day. I exposed it outside. I didn't know if it was going to be bad. I didn't know shit until I got it and was logging capturing. So I didn't even know if I had a movie.
Yeah, I'm also thinking like, if you want to like rewatch a shot, like Iannick, I know the stuff for me that stands out in that stereotype part is like there's a handful of switch twos, which I feel like at the time was
I don't think anyone else was doing that.
Yeah, I remember being like, and I think there's a shot like at a big air comp in Whistler, I think, where it's like sort of like it's not quite a Tindy, but it's just a sick looking grab and rotation. Yeah, so that stuff's all digital though, so you can watch that.
No, this is all
I guess
film.
My question is, would you watch stuff and redo tricks back then?
Not for that film.
No. Yeah, no, because it was all film, yeah. I mean, it was
contest in summer, and then events like Parkosaurus. And so it's kind of like he was explaining before he got on the phone, like he had to win contest if he wanted to go to the next level and be a bigger film skier. And until you do that, like all the other guys before him, like he had to be on a contest schedule. And then you're filming, getting film shots from the fucking contest to add to your segment, and that's why you saw so many contest shots through 2003 because that's what people were doing every weekend. And then whatever you could film in Utah, if you're there for a contest, you're like, all right, street rails, or should we go hike a backcountry kicker if it snowed? All right, big air happens on Saturday.
And other than line, I don't think anybody would get sponsor if you're not competing. I think like all the big companies would not sponsor you if you were not doing all the big competitions, I think.
Phil, what grab is that? Why does that grab look so cool today still? Why does that grab look, what is that?
I feel like it's his axis that makes it look so damn ill. To me, too, it's one of the sickest Switch 7, but it's really a safety grab. It's or like a little behind the back binding. So like I call it still I don't know, hard to say, but as I am
Safety
with you
method.
on the fact that it's dope as hell. That's like maybe
It's like
my
the
favorite
tweak.
Iannick shot ever.
Yeah, like the tweak, like the legs, like a little bit of like the tweak on the spin that makes it pretty amazing.
That's funny, Phil, because I always like I never liked the competition shots in that segment compared to the park shots. I feel like it's a weird fit, especially in today's standards. Although the tricks are definitely not today's standards either, so probably it doesn't make a difference.
I don't know. I liked all the competition footage from that era. I don't know. I especially in that movie, for some reason, it felt, I don't know, a lot different than maybe other comp footage. And there was those green bibs, dude. Those green bibs, like the green comp bibs, like they just looked so sick.
I mean, think if
like
there was no Crichton in his with WSI in 2002, that would have been fucked up.
Made the connection. I remember like being at the grocery store and being like, "Oh, that's the shampoo that was the sponsor of the."
That was Mitchell. Was it? What's the first name? Something Mitchell. Paul Mitchell.
Yeah.
It was a Canadian company. Who knows? But fucking awesome memories right there. And
All right,
poster this frame.
I gotta go back to work.
Awesome. Good to see you, man.
See ya.
Peace, brother. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
One of the green bib shots here, the pipe shot you were talking about. A bowl.
Yeah.
Quick pull up for the people here.
Yeah, there is a WSI was also a great time. I feel like that's one of the competition that was a bit more relaxed than US Open and X Games. It was like end of season.
Yeah, so the second week of April, you're in Whistler. You're like, yeah, partying. It's great.
Yeah.
What else you got, Phil, man, on your detective research of the Sonic the Hedgehog?
Listen, I think we covered most of what I was thinking to cover, and I guess now, Iannick, we would like to give you some time to yourself tell, since this show is all about giving flowers. Iberg asked you earlier what inspired you, but what inspires you today to keep on going and be the Iannick that you are? Stay up and happy. Just be a great
yeah, life boy. I would say my kids. That's probably what I live for these days. I got two great boys, and it's fun to see them grow up, see them do sports, being geeks like I am. Yeah, I think, and I also try to stay active as much as I can. We've been on the road for the last 2 years, and it's been a bit harder, other than like hikes and some biking. But we're in Vegas for at least until Christmas. Now I've been going to the trampoline park every day with the kids. My goal is to get some flips back on the trampoline, and then this winter I'm going to ski here at Lee Canyon next to the city. So I'm going to try to get some more skiing at least this winter. Biking again. I got some rollerblades last summer. So I went to the skate park with Charles Nantel, one of my good friends from Quebec City. So went and skated with him a couple times there. I'm going to find a skate park once it's not 105 degrees here. Try to go skate a little bit.
Can you do a Royale?
Yeah, actually, I surprised myself. I hadn't rollerbladed in probably like 20 years, I would say, 15 years. And I got back on the skates, and I could do Royales. I did Mizu, like a bunch of tricks.
Can you do afar Fig Newton?
Yes, I did.
What else is a weird one? Come on, help me out, Phil. There's so many fun
names.
Porn Star. Porn Star is my favorite grind.
Yeah, I did not do a porn star. I did a Royale. I did what else? I can't remember, but it was kind of fun. It was literally like I'm fairly out of shape, especially for like something like rollerblading where you're using all these little muscles you never use usually. But it was really fun. Yeah.
Speaking of which, on the chat, maybe he's gone, but we got Matt Ledoux, who who's a super renowned Quebec inline skater, super style. Just shout out to him. In the
Yeah, what's up, Matt? The
UFO.
Yeah, UFO is I think when you cross your legs.
Isn't it just a 360 tuck
yeah.
up?
No, I think it's the cross legs one. Yeah, it's like what is it called when you sit with your like Indian style sitting?
Yep.
I think. But yeah, so actually another anecdote too that was kind of funny is like in the rollerblade world when I was used to coach at Woodward, at the one in Wisconsin, I hung out with someone called Shane Nelson.
He was on
who
here
had
earlier.
He had like a wheel company, and it was like he's super cool dude. And then even like out of nowhere, later in skiing, years later, I would say I met Eric Iberg, and then I don't know how that came about, but then I realized these two are really good friends. So I thought that was kind of funny that it was like two totally different worlds, and Shane and Eric were like two good buddies that I knew from two different sports.
And Shane edited all the stereotype, other
Yeah,
than the
true.
Phoenix stuff. So that was our full circle of awesomeness. And it wasn't called Woodward in Wisconsin. It was called something else.
Lake Owen. Yeah.
Lake
Owen. Which closed down, which is sad. I had hopes to send my kids there one day, but no more Lake Owen. No, as whatever. They do scooters now. Scooters seems to be popular at the skate park these days for kids.
A little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So
what
good.
else we got for Iannick? Other than, I'm going to say, Iannick, I appreciate, out of all the films I did, I had a lot of fun working with you. I think you did shit that no one else did at the time. And like it influenced a lot of people like Phil. And then when researching it, you know, and seeing like how Will Wesson was inspired as a youth, or like so many other people, like you were a big deal, man. And it's important that people know like that the sport, you were a reason why it went to certain places. And on behalf of Phil and myself and the sport, man, thank you. Because it was dope as fuck that you contributed.
Yeah, thanks to both of you. You both made my career in skiing like fun. Yeah, I remember good times with Eric and Mamet too. When you used to live there, I used to go visit sometimes with the Phils and Sarah.
Fun house.
Yeah, and Phil too. Same thing. Thank you. Yeah, thanks to both of you for the sports, and you're still going strong, both of you, which is nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I owe a lot of credit to you for putting me on the map and just like introducing me and giving me the entrance to the back door on some stuff, and just like to the whole destructure program. That was huge.
I just opened the door. You're the one who made it there.
True. Here's some Iannick footage. I think the most recent Iannick footage that has been shot, and that was in a cut in 2013 in VDP, filmed by Emil Grano, and Iannick and motherfucking T Hall were at my local ski resort that day. It was in.
That was pretty fun. That was a fun day with Tanner and Phil.
Crazy.
Hitting the little jump.
Riding the chairlift.
I heard you busted out a 540 this year. Still got it, huh?
And what on skis? We spent the last 2 winters in Florida, so I haven't skied in 2 winters. But 3 winters ago, I did go we used to live in the Bay Area, so I went to Squaw Valley and all the Tahoe resorts, and I went back, and I could still do switch 7s, switch 5s, 540s, 720s. I'm hoping I can do the same this year. Same with rails. I tried a 360 switch up. That was not successful. I think that was pushing my limit a little bit, but I'll get that back.
Did you do a 180 switch up?
Yeah, Eric. That's
I don't
baby
know.
steps.
I haven't even done Daffy for like a decade, but I know I can still do it.
But a switch cork 5 is still my favorite trick. Like I would do that over anything to test a jump. Like I love that trick. It feels so good. You see everything. Blending switch is also comfortable.
Yeah, here's your finishing shot for the end here of Stereotype and a Switch 5 film from the lift.
I shot that one, Iannick.
Thank you so much, Iannick, for taking the time off your day to join us.
Nice.
And so blessed that we got you on, and all the best with the continuation. We will see each other again soon enough, I hope.
Perfect.
Man, great
I'm
to
going to
see
go
your
back
face.
to being a geek. Yeah, same.
Geek on.
See you, boy.
Take care.
Bye.
Peace, man.
Boom, bomb. Connect. Disconnect.com.
Yo.
Oh, that was another awesome one, man.
Buddy.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
So nice, man. This is like our fourth guest in a row, and all of them has been icon and legendary to the sport. Next week, we got someone even bigger than that.
Bigger.
No, not bigger. On the same
He's definitely
side.
smaller.
Yeah.
He's really short.
And literally his last name is Small in French.
And his first segment was being a midget.
Yeah.
So he's
definitely
a small midget. Petit midget.
Mm.
So, yeah, man,
Yeah.
I think that was like our 10th overall show, too. We just did 4 in a row because we got back on track. So, yeah, next week we got Sean Pettit. That'll be fucking awesome.
For real.
That little guy's been in the game for 20 years, too. That's crazy. It's crazy. He just turned 30?
Yeah, he's done so much from a young age. 3 apples high, just going in the pipe stratosphere. Yes,
I'll try
sir.
to find some fun
Good talk,
pictures.
man.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks, Iannick, again, man. So if you guys get a chance, there's a little bit of stuff on him out there. There's a couple segments. Look in the video section on Google. There's some stuff on New Schoolers. But, yeah, big up Iannick, man. It was a pleasure having you in the sport for the short time you were in it.
For real. Thanks to the people joining us, and see you next week for Giving Flowers. Peace,
Yeah, man.
Iberg.
Peace. Have a great day.
You too.